Hey everyone, my name is Kathy Gutierrez and welcome to week 1 of Troy and the Trojan War. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about death in ancient Greece. So the concept of death was quite different than I think many of you culturally expect in our current world. And first of all, it is what happens to you after death is completely distinct from your ethics in life. So your behavior in this life has no effect on where you go when you die. Absolutely everyone goes to the same place, and that place is Hades. And Hades kind of sucks. So the deal with Hades is that when you die, you go down to this place and you lose your individuality. You lose your personality, basically. And the dead all sort of hang around and they're like ghosts. The word that gets used often is shades, which sort of kind of mean ghosts. And the dead can't speak. There are a couple of exceptions to this. So, for example, in the Odyssey, Odysseus goes to the underworld, and with very specific instructions for sacrifices, he is able to get these ghosts to speak to him, and they are thrilled to talk because they have not been able to express themselves for however long they've been dead. But by and large, the dead are silent and, I presume, bored. So, in fact, the verb that the Greek uses is the same verb that it uses to talk about bats. So the sound that the dead make is the sound of bats squeaking. So when Odysseus goes to the underworld in the Odyssey, which sadly we will not be reading together this time, he talks to Achilles, and Achilles says, "This place is awful, and I would rather work for the poorest man on a crappy farm than be dead." It was so his whole trade-off of, die young and famous or live to a ripe old age, he seems to regret it by the time that we get to the Odyssey. So that said, your fame during this life is really the only way of preserving who you were, right? Your memory, people's memory of you, is all you have. So when you're, reading about these different characters and the things that they're willing to go through in terms of death and pain and suffering, it's a different ballgame than what we think of death now. And it really is like your only shot, right? So anyway, another thing I want to say about death is that the Greeks believed that what you look like when you die is what you show up looking like in Hades. So if you are hacked into a million pieces and looking all disgusting and gross, then that's what you look like for eternity. And sadly we're not going to read this together either, but there's a play called The Bacchae by Euripides, in which the bad guy, right? Someone tricks him into not only being hacked to pieces forever in, the afterlife, but being in drag and hacked to pieces in the afterlife, which, as you might imagine, is not a real good tough guy warrior, thing to be doing. So when you see the desecration of corpses in the Iliad, that's just the Greeks being extra. They're being very, very extra about, it's not enough to kill you, dude. I have to make you look and feel terrible for all of eternity. So, yeah. So all this corpse dragging and etc. And, and the gods and goddesses, preserving corpses and not telling anybody. This has to do with what you look like in Hades for all of time. All right, enjoy the Greeks and their extremely extra view of death. Bye.